Coming into number 10, we have the antidote. Now, nobody wants to be poisoned, but it seems that Mithridates VI, king of Pontus between 120 and 63 BC, was super paranoid about it for his entire life. The king spent 7 years adapting his body and testing his responses to assorted deadly poisons. Rather him than me, but it seems he actually did find something pretty incredible. After 7 years of study, he concocted a potion of 54 ingredients, and that was said to be a universal antidote. The concoction is referred to in history as theriac and was widely adopted along the Silk Road. This also included ancient China and India. Sadly, over time, while the antidote is mentioned in early history, the recipe for this magical medicine has been lost. Perhaps one day we will come across it written down, but until then, it is lost in time. Coming into number 9, we have City Hall subway in New York. Hidden away at the end of the 6th train line is an abandoned Manhattan subway station, City Hall. I don't know about you, but I'd love me an abandoned station. The station was part of the Interborough Rapid Transit Company and was built in 1904. Now, it seems that the Brooklyn Bridge was far more popular a stop, so City Hall was decommissioned. But you can still reach this hidden secret if you have the time to stay on train 6 as it loops. Be warned though, the station is said to be haunted. Atlas Obscura advises its readers on how to access the secret station. They advise that if you stay on the downtown 6 train after it leaves Brooklyn Station, it's best to be in the 7th, 8th or 9th car, as the train operates very slowly around the curve in front of the City Hall station. Ooh, I like a mystery secret hidden station. I really do. While we're on the topic of trains, I really want to talk about an urban legend that, if true, has left some pretty awesome artifacts for future generations. Coming into number 8, we have the Crossrail boring machines. So, Crossrail. The Crossrail project started in 2009 and is still going. Officially named the Elizabeth Line, Crossrail is a new network of underground trains in the UK. Now, they cross from London to Berkshire to Buckingham and across Essex. The project is set to have generated a bill of around £17 billion, so building these tunnels is pretty expensive and quite the feat. Supermassive boring machines are used to bore the networks in the ground. The urban legend goes that rather than actually removing these costly machines when they reach the end of their lifespan, which they do quite quickly after getting a battering from soil in the face, now instead of a costly retrieval process, they are instead bored down into the earth until they can bore no more. It is said that they're then covered over with cement, basically meaning that there are big, massive machine fossils 50 meters below the earth. Now, I don't know if it's true, but if it is, that's pretty exciting, right? Imagine being from a future generation and uncovering these, being like, what was going on? Next up, we have a secret hidden in time and space. We have Opportunity, the Mars rover, coming into number 7. R.I.P. Opportunity, I miss you, although I never met you, but I know I loved you. Opportunity made its last contact with NASA in June 2018 and was officially declared dead, for want of a better word, on February the 13th, 2019. Opportunity's last message seems to suggest that the rover had fallen over, or perhaps even fallen foul of a Martian storm. Opportunity roved Mars for nearly a decade and a half, unlocking the secrets to Mars and sending back data to NASA. Opportunity discovered that Mars had an ancient water that flowed 4 billion years ago. Now, it's thought that the NASA will try and retrieve Opportunity as and when they're able to send a manned mission to Mars, but until then, some of the rover's last known and well-kept secrets lay trapped in its body, somewhere on the surface of the red planet. Coming into number 6, we have the lost jewels of Bad King John. Beware the Wash, an estuary in the northwest corner of my home county in the UK, East Anglia. Shout out East Anglia, hello. Locals will tell you that when the tide rises, the North Sea floods the land 6 kilometers away, rising faster than a human can run. Now, in the full and new moons, this body of water flows even quicker. They say as fast as a galloping horse. God love the moon! Moon power. Back in the vintage year of 1216, King John was taken ill in Bishop's Lynn in Norfolk, now King's Lynn. It seems that it was decided that he would go back home, and he did so, pursued by his enemies. It seems that his cavalcade tried to cross the Wash, although the tides rose and his wagons were swept away, including his jewels. Now, the area is notorious for having quicksand, so they were probably sucked down into the murky depths. These jewels would be worth millions of pounds today, and treasure hunters have spent the past 800 100 years trying to find them. If and when they are found one day, I wonder what story they will tell. The bad King John died of his sickness shortly after the loss of his crown jewels. Taking it in a different direction at number 5, lost in time, we have free energy. Jack Finch from Top 5 Scary Videos and I were talking about Nikola Tesla the other day. He's a Serbian-American creator known for his work with electricity. Jack said, and I quote, "He was a lad." I quite agree. It seems though that someone out there was against him. Nikola developed a technology that was able to give people free energy. Can you even imagine? He built the Wondercliff Tower, or the Tesla Tower, in 1901, and he was planning on using it to transmit images across the Atlantic from New York to England using Earth to conduct signals. Now this actually would have been a very sustainable energy source. The long and short of it, he wanted to give people free electricity, but his funding was mysteriously stopped, and his plans mysteriously destroyed. The urban legend is that America was unhappy with the concept of free, seeing their opportunity to capitalize and get people to pay for energy. Is this why his plans went missing? I'm gonna say probably. Coming into number 4, we have the ANTIKYTHERA. The ANTIKYTHERA mechanism. This seems to be an ancient Greek computer that was thought to predict astronomical positions. The mechanism lay hidden in time at the bottom of the ocean for around 2,000 years. This was from around 100 BC to the year 1901, when it was pulled up amongst the retrieved wreckage of a ship. The mechanism contained wheels long before mankind invented them, or actually reinvented them over a millennium later. I'm talking specifically about cogs. The mechanism predates the astronomical clocks of Europe by some 1500 years. There is still a lot of mystery surrounding the mechanism, and we don't absolutely know what it was used for. It goes to show that ancient civilizations had a better grasp of technology than we actually maybe thought they did. What else is down there hidden in the ocean waiting for us to find? Well, maybe time will tell. So, just to prove that time does reveal its hidden secrets, up next we have the identity of Jack the Ripper at number 3. Jack the Ripper was a notorious serial killer in Whitechapel, London in the late 1800s. The unknown assailant killed at least 5 people, all women, in and around Whitechapel. Although, he may have killed more. He's been linked to around 11 deaths. Perhaps the number was even higher than that. Famously, the murder cases were never solved, and the identity of the brutal killer has been a mystery for around 130 years. That was until recently, when DNA stepped in to provide us with a vital missing clue. So, who done it? Well, preserved from time was a scarf belonging to a murder victim. 46-year-old Catherine Eddowes was found dead in 1888, and on her body was a stained silk shawl with blood and semen on it. Sensationally, now the shawl has been scanned for DNA and linked to the living relatives of Aaron Kosominski, a Polish barber who worked in Whitechapel at the time. Now, he was also once number 1 suspect in the killings, only the London police couldn't pin enough evidence on him to convict him of the crime. Incredible. Honestly, I wonder how many other unsolved murders will eventually be puzzled together using DNA evidence. The answers probably are lying somewhere in time. Coming into number 2, we have the mystery of the Sphinx. If the pyramids weren't mysterious enough, start pondering the Great Sphinx and your mind will be kind of blown. The Sphinx is said to date back to 2494 BC, but actually, geological studies seem to suggest otherwise. The Sphinx shows signs of weathering patterns, specifically water erosion, that simply didn't occur in any other ancient structures around it. Several notable Egyptologists, including Robert M. Schoch, have said that this suggests that the Sphinx was around in a time before Egypt was a desert, at a time it was a wetland, and possibly even at a time that there were trees. Now, that would have been around 10,000 years ago or more. Scanning the Sphinx has revealed that there are also hidden chambers in the structure, but excavating the great structure has been forbidden. The Sphinx also faces the sun. What does it mean? Interestingly, famous early 20th century clairvoyant Edgar Cayce had a vision in which he saw refugees from the lost city of Atlantis burying their secrets in a hall of records under the Sphinx. Honestly, the mind boggles, and there's something going on with that Sphinx. Finally, coming into number 1, we have habitable planets. Our knowledge and perceptible understanding of the universe has changed over the past 50 or so years. We now have been able to observe dozens of planets in solar systems that we think could have the right conditions to house life. But do they? There are 16 in the conservative habitable zone and 30 in the optimistic habitable zone. Some of the closest are between 4.2 light years away and 15 light years away, which in terms of space-time really isn't that far away from Earth. The thing is though, with our current technology, we can only travel around 24,790 miles per hour with a manned mission, or 36,000 miles for an unmanned rocket. At the moment, it would take us roughly 37,200 years to travel just 1 light year, so for now, planets that could and maybe do hold life are just a little bit too far away in time for us to be able to reach. What secrets they hold though, well, we have to ask ourselves if we're ready for that answer. Coming in at number 10, we have the classified JFK assassination documents. When it comes to scary secrets hidden in time, the United States government is sitting on a motherlode. While the Freedom of Information Act is a thing, the United States government has classified a bunch of documents to keep them from the public eye. The CIA released a statement to say that when historical information is no longer sensitive, we take seriously our responsibility to share it with the American people. Well, responsibility or not, it seems that Donald Trump does not want the American people to know more information about JFK's assassination. Even though it happened in 1963, documents about the event are still classified. In October 2017, 2,800 files about his murder were released, which revealed all sorts of things, including that the Russian KGB believed that Vice President Lyndon conspired against the PREISS. It seems that there are actually still thousands more documents waiting to be released, and Trump has halted it for reasons of, I quote, national security, law enforcement, and foreign affairs concerns. What do they say? Well, time will reveal. Coming in at number 9, we have the RONGORONGO. Fun to say, really fun to say. The RONGORONGO refers to artifacts found on Easter Island, a remote island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, the one with all the big stone heads. Easter Island. This island used to be the home of an ancient civilization that died out under mysterious circumstances. On the island, artifacts, wooden tablets, were discovered with strange undeciphered writing on them. The writing is a series of glyphs, which is like a symbol kind of writing. While there have been many attempts to crack the code, so far they've been unsuccessful. It is thought that the language is a special and rare case of independent invention of human writing. If the RONGORONGO language is ever translated, it could reveal the scary secret of how the people of Easter Island died. Coming into number 8, we have Pershing Square Underground Garage in Los Angeles. This is so mysterious indeed. Also, to me, when there's mystery, there's kind of a spook. Underneath Pershing Square, there is a 225-pound time capsule that was buried in 1950. It was buried under the instruction to be opened in the year 2950. So a cool 1,000 years in the future. The project was very secretive, so we literally have no idea what's down there. To me, that all sounds pretty scary, and I won't be around to find out what's in it. I don't have that much time. Coming into number 7, we have ancient disease. 2 things to discuss here really. You guys know how much I love to bang on about the Siberian permafrost and how it's melting and unleashing all kinds of ancient diseases. Well, like that. And more. Ice, it traps all kinds of things. On that topic, did you also know that there are secret laboratories in the world where scientists are keeping copies of ancient extinct diseases, including smallpox, which was declared eradicated in 1980 by the World Health Organization. The reason copies of old diseases are kept is so that we can study them and have copies of pathogens to work with when creating cures. Although, to be honest, we wouldn't need cures if these viruses were totally destroyed. It's like a scientific catch-22. While we may think that we're rid of these nasties, they're actually still out there hiding in secret. The permafrost is Earth's secret, waiting for the right time to reveal its mysteries, but the laboratories are scientific secrets. Coming into number 6, we have the SHIGIR idol. So often I wonder what lost relics and artifacts are hiding around the world waiting to be discovered, and honestly, I feel like there must be so many things that we don't even know about yet. The only reason we know about the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans, the Aztecs, and so on and so forth is because we found evidence of them in our soil. Other places, like our number 5, have been written about but never found. There must be small civilizations or very early ones that we haven't found yet, for which we don't have any literature surrounding them. So, On that note, let me introduce the Shigir idol. This impressive wooden structure was amazingly found in a Russian bog by gold miners in 1894. Before that, it had laid untouched and undiscovered for 11,500 years. Just to put this in perspective, this is over twice the age of the Egyptian pyramids and some. It seems like it is a carving of a forest spirit, but what that really means, we don't know. To think that this statue was hiding in time for millennia without anyone knowing it was there, honestly, that freaks me out, but also makes me feel good and weird and mysterious. Coming in at number 5, we have Atlantis. The lost city of Atlantis is just that. Lost. Where exactly is? Well, some people think that it might be in the Straits of Gibraltar between Africa and Spain. The ancient Greek city was supposed to be thriving in its day, which was over 11,000 years ago, so sometime after the wooden statue from our previous number. The great and late philosopher Plato mentioned Atlantis in a number of his works and writings, and he's a pretty credible guy. Where Atlantis is and what we may find within its walls, well, that is a secret hidden in time waiting to be discovered one day. Coming into number 4, we have the BYRON PREISS Scary Hidden Treasure. In 1981, publisher BYRON PREISS hid 12 treasures to promote his book, The Secret. The book was a puzzle made of 12 verses and 12 fantasy paintings. Readers were supposed to pair paintings with verses and use them as clues to find 12 plexiglass boxes buried in various parks around North America. Each box contained a ceramic key that could be redeemed for a jewel worth $1,000. So far, 2 of the boxes have been found, but the rest are undiscovered. One was found in Chicago, one in Cleveland, and there's a group of people who are ebbing closer to finding another in New Orleans. It seems that BYRON PREISS never told another human where the treasure was hidden, and he himself was tragically killed in a car accident in 2005, so with his death, the secret hidden treasure really is, well, secret. And hidden. It's been nearly 40 years. When will the remaining boxes be found, and what exactly will be found in them? Honestly, it sends chills up my spine. Coming in at number 3, we have Heard Island. Heard Island is a mystery land of fire and ice. What goes on there? We don't really know. Heard Island is between Australia and Antarctica, although when I say between, I mean a 2-week sail from Australia in some of the roughest seas imaginable. You can't land a plane here, and for this reason, hardly any humans have ever set foot on this land, that we know of, anyway. The snow is cold, but yet the island is volcanic, and it's a mystery to us. It likely holds secrets to Earth and wildlife that we know very little about. Who knows what we could discover here? Same again at number 2, we have Underneath Antarctica. So my line of questioning when it comes to Antarctica is two-pronged. It all boils down to this though. 160 years ago, Antarctica separated from Africa, and back then it was by and large a pretty hospitable place to live. There was animal life living in Antarctica back then. What kind of life? Well, it was the Mesozoic era, so it was very much the age of the dinosaur. Okay. Noted. Animal life will have died out in the Antarctic deep freeze, which started around 23 million years ago. Now, this means that there could be a whole host of creatures trapped under the ice that we might not even know about. We may even have frozen dinosaurs that are pretty intact, and that really excites me. Some people even go as far as to say that there could be evidence of an ancient human or pre-human civilization trapped under there that we don't know about. The ice is, after all, an average thickness of 2.4 kilometers and over 4 kilometers at its thickest. Beyond possibly preserved dinosaur carcasses and lost human civilizations, the land under the ice as in its geological makeup may hold secrets to our very early history of a planet. Antarctica is likely shielding some of the biggest and maybe the scariest secrets of all time. Finally, coming into number 1, we have a message from aliens. Okay, so hear me out. In 1977, humans sent out a message from planet Earth into the ether via Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacefarers. Although these were on 2 vinyls, so unless there are some hipster aliens about, I have no idea how they're going to listen to them. Either way, it would take 40,000 years for our message, traveling at the Voyager's top speed, to reach Gliese. That's a star 1.6 light years away. Okay, so that being known, perhaps aliens have sent out a message to us, but it's hidden in time and space. space. The universe is, well, you know, pretty endless. So far, scientists have discovered more than 500 solar systems in our galaxy alone, the Milky Way. Now, our galaxy, to put this into perspective, is one of 2 trillion. So I mean, I'm not one for super quick math or anything, but if the Milky Way is typical, there could be 100 billion or more solar systems out there. And that's just in the observable universe, and honestly, I am mind-boggled. Now, I imagine that there is life out there somewhere, and if it's reached the point where it has the ability and capability to send out information into space, then, well, perhaps one day we will come across a message from them. Would it be like our own message that we put out? Or maybe it will be a warning, or worse still, a threat. An intergalactic threat. That really is a hidden scary message in time.